What's up, y'all? Malcolm Breed here from How to Barbecue Right. When you're in the Chattanooga area and you're looking for barbecue supplies, you got to check out my buddy Steve's Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply. And Steve and his staff have all your outdoor grilling, smoking, live fire cooking supplies. You can find my Killer Hog stuff there, plus a ton of other cool stuff. So y'all stop in and see Steve. Tell him Malcolm sent you.
The Owl's Nest Barbecue Show is brought to you by Smokin' Brother Pellet Cookers, the highest quality and built right here in the USA. Brought to you by Pit Barrel Cookers. The best barbecue taste you could get comes from the PBC. We're brought to you by Continental Tires since 1871, by the Poultry Chicken Rod, and by the Napoleon Kettle. Everybody has a good time cooking on the Napoleon Kettle Grill. Now, here's Pete, Steve, and Cameron.
Hey, everybody. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. All you non-birthday pansies out there.
How old?
Happy birthday to me.
You're just going to skip over the how old question?
Let me say this. When President Kennedy was assassinated, I remember it. Okay?
Fair enough.
I was born in the Eisenhower administration. That puts a little more perspective in it. But enough about me. Let's talk about you guys. There and right underneath me in the left-hand corner is the number 6 rated eater in the world, Nick Weary, joining us. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Man, we are so happy to have you here. We're going to be talking with you about all the different contests, the contests coming up, the contests you just completed. And we're really looking forward to a nice visit. Up in the right-hand corner, Cameron Parker, that guy from Facebook. And there's Jason Penley, that other guy from Baptized by Smoke. And David Roberts, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Fellas, Nick is a member of the Major League Eating. Nick, how did you describe what you do? I know you guys are athletes, especially you. The way you're like Cameron said, man, this guy's cut when he was looking at your Facebook page.
Yeah, I have my good days and my bad days, I suppose. But yeah, no, I used to bodybuild before I did this insanity. I moved from one crazy hobby to the next. But we travel all over, from Milan, Italy to Fairmont, West Virginia to Knoxville, Tennessee, eating copious amounts of food in brief periods of time and entertaining a whole bunch of people while doing it. So super fortunate.
Yeah, it's great entertainment. I got hooked on it about 2 years ago. I was watching a George Shea video, and I thought, this guy he's the greatest howler that ever walked the face of the earth. Yeah. And then I thought, what's he howling about? Then I started watching videos, and I went, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Watching you guys. So you just came off this weekend, finished second in the Sweet Corn Festival, Corn on the Cob eating contest. Describe that to everybody, what you guys did.
So that was over there in West Palm. Delicious Florida sweet corn. Went over there myself. My wife Miki, who's the #1 ranked female in the world, she's won that contest twice. Gideon Oji, who's now won that contest, I believe, 5 times. We have 12 minutes to eat as much shucked corn as possible. So everybody's got a different technique. I personally just take it and run it up my teeth, like run it up my face, which is why I look like I got into a fight. The 54 years of sweet corn that I completed in 12 minutes, they bite back when you do it like that. So they bite back the same day and the following day, actually, in a different way. But it was a fun contest. Almost pulled off the win, so I guess I'm semi-happy with second.
And Gideon Oji won that. And I think, didn't your wife, Miki, come in second or third?
She got third. She had 48 years. I did 54, and Gideon, I think, did 58.
Wow. That's incredible. And then earlier than that, you went head-to-head with Pat Bertoletti, the #2 ranked, in a donut hole eating contest. Now, he only beat you, I think he did 60
So the donut holes, Pat did 100.5, and I did 99.
When that's close.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was really
that's
tight.
tight.
They're like lacrosse ball sized donut holes. So pretty good size. Call them mass holes, and it was tight. Like I was leading about the first minute, and then Pat took a lead, and it was kind of back and forth. Pat is much better at the end of a contest, what we would call a chipmunk, which is kind of where you can fit as much food in your mouth at the end as possible.
Oh.
And if you could take your hand away and it's still in your mouth, like gravity doesn't take it from you, it's yours. You know, as long as you get it down in like 30
So it
seconds.
counts if it's in the mouth.
In the mouth, yeah. Don't be one of these people who's holding it like this is mine, you know. But as long as it's in the mouth, yeah. So Pat's phenomenal at that, and I think he kind of knows if he keeps me within one or two, he's going to be able to. He's just got more real estate in there, so he was able to do it, and you know, we both had a pretty similar amount of debris or mess. So it was a real tight contest, but to beat Jeff Esper in that by I think 5, and to narrowly lose to Pat, that was a pretty decent showing for me, I guess.
Hey, let me put this up on the screen real quick here for us to look at with you. Those are the top eaters right there. Of course, number 1, Joey Chestnut. Number 2, Pat Bertoletti. Jeffrey Esper, Jim Webb, Mickey Sudo. That's Mrs. Nick Weary, then Nick Weary. Who's that? I can't read that, Harley.
Oh, that's Ricardo Corbucci.
Yeah, then Max
Stanford. Yeah, he's from England. Real good guy.
And there's Gideon.
Yep.
Is he somebody that's just happened to show up on the scene?
No, Gideon's been around actually longer than I have. He just, I would say if we were just speaking from the point of raw ability or potential, Gideon and Miki and James probably have the highest ceiling of just raw potential.
Mm-hmm.
But James, and of those 3, James probably works the hardest of those 3. James is an incredibly hard worker. And Miki and Gideon kind of are just like super talented at what we do and show up and beat you sans practices.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when you take people who have self-selected for things they're good at, if you make them try to practice a whole bunch, they don't really want to do it anymore. It's not fun anymore. So, but yeah, Gideon, any given day, we're all aware that he's there because he just shows up sometimes and puts up a number and you're like, dude, where was that? Like, what exactly, almost like a Yasiel Puig when he was playing baseball. You're like, man, if somebody can just corral this guy, he has got something there. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cam.
Sorry. So you mentioned like practice and stuff like that. So how do you prepare for it? I've always wanted to know, like, how do you prepare for one of these events?
Eat. You got to eat.
I mean, like, I get that, but okay, so like, if I'm going to a buffet, right, and I want to get my money's worth, I know I can't go in starving because
they're gonna throw you out.
Yeah, well,
we're trying to eat that much.
I know, but if I go in and I've got kind of like a base in there, I find myself eating more. How do you prepare?
So I typically practice like I play. So when it comes to the practices, I'm not doing one this week because we have the contest Saturday of Maynard sausages, but when I did practice for this Saturday's contest, I try to get as close as I can to the contest food, which is hard when it's a regional food. Set it up on the plates, however it's going to be set up in the contest. So like 4 per plate, 5 per plate, whatever. Set up my drinking or dunking liquids, depending on the contest setup, put the same amount of time on the clock. And usually what I'll try to do is set out like a reach number. So let's say if I think I'm going to do 70 or something in a contest, maybe I'll cook up 80. And then go do the practice, see how it goes. Sometimes watch back what I've recorded and see like, all right, where did I suck at this? Where was I good at it? Why did I slow down? And things like that. And it's similar to anything else. You practice like you play. Obviously hot dogs are my most frequent practice, and there's a lot of like analytical stuff that goes into that. And then when it comes to like the 24 hours prior to the contests, if it's a full capacity contest, like hot dogs or bologna or something like that, I'll be solid fasted for about 24 hours and live on like protein shakes and coffee, and Gatorade, coconut water. Night before, have some magnesium citrate or smooth move tea, and make sure everybody moves along morning up, and then going empty, hydrated, and so because you don't want to be crampy and dehydrated and miserable, so you do need some calories and some electrolytes, but you do want to make sure it's smooth sailing once you go in there.
Interesting.
Nick, how did you get into this?
Story as old as time. No, it was I was a bodybuilder for like a dozen years,
Mm-hmm.
and when that kind of competitive career was coming to an end, I had some friends who noticed that my appetite was kind of ridiculous. I would go to like a China buffet or something, and I would go up 6, 7, 8, 9 times to the things. Like, you should try this punchki eating contest coming up, like Polish jelly donuts around Fat Tuesday. And I said no. And they're like, well, you can win money, and they're raising money for a sick little girl, and you get free donuts. Yeah.
Say less.
I'm there, and I went and I won handily, just at this local contest, and that was probably the first time in my life that I had talent for something. I didn't just I played sports my whole life, but I got by on effort, not talent or athletic ability. So, to be good at something was really refreshing. So I tried it again and entered Major League Eating's White Hut Cheeseburger Eating Championships, and I thought it was amateurs, but they put me with the professionals, and I placed 5th amongst 16 professionals in my first contest. And that's when some of the other people there, like Jeff and Badlands, were like, you might think about trying this. You just kind of waddled yourself up here and did this. So, and then my competitive juices took over, and it spiraled out of control. So.
Nice.
So when you go to a contest, there is a strategy. The fact that you watch film of yourself tells me that there's more to this than just going up there gouging.
Yeah. It's no longer just like the chubby guy at the barbecue that can eat a lot. Once you start putting money on the line and people are super competitive getting into it, I think there has to be. Obviously, a lot of people can just show up and do okay. I don't have the ability to just show up and do okay. So I have everything from like jaw training, trying to train to swallow bigger pieces of food faster, not moving food to the sides of your mouth to where you're going to chew it longer and not want to swallow it. There's a lot more that goes into it. As insane as what we do is, I think anything done at a really, really high level is pretty cool. And so for me to have a chance to topple people like the Pat Bertolettis or Miki Sudos or Joey Chestnuts or James Webbs, that's going to take me having a psychotic degree of discipline.
Yeah. When you, I know you were looking forward to Knoxville,
Yeah.
and I know we've got an echo somewhere. I don't know.
That's what it's. You have it coming through your car stereo.
Are you on Bluetooth, Nick?
No. I'm just it's just coming through the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's there. We got a bad echo.
Yeah, we got an echo somewhere, but that's okay. We'll just get to it. Like the bologna eating contest, it's going to be May the 9th in Knoxville, sponsored by Dead End Barbecue, presented by Elm Hill Meats. It's going to be at the UT Sports Fields across the street from Dead End Barbecue. I assume you competed there last year.
Yeah.
And tell us about that contest. Because that's going to be the first one that I've gone to since, Kobayashi was here in Chattanooga years ago at a crystal eating contest.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a fun contest. So Dead End Barbecue and Elm Hill Meats come together for the bologna, the smoked bologna. It's like, I think it's 4 4-ounce slices to a plate. So pound per plate, obviously, the stacked. Last year was Chestnut, Miki, Jeff, James, Pat, Derek Hendrickson. So a ton of people, like real good eaters. It's very fast food. So we look at that as a pure capacity contest. Like the winner is probably the one who has the most real estate for most people. But with that said, like that's a really, really strong flavor. Like I dig it. But I know like bologna isn't everybody's cup of tea, for lack of a better term. So that's for some people going to slow them down, because even if you really enjoy a flavor, the stronger the flavor, kind of the harder it is to ignore for 8 to 12 minutes at a time when you're eating pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of it. So it's something that sometimes flavor fatigue will kick in for people. Some people it's going to be running out of space. For me personally, like, I dig it. Sometimes the heat, that can get to me sometimes. I'll overheat pretty easy, but hopefully you have some moderate to cold fluid to balance with the obviously very flavorful bologna. And hopefully I tied for third last year with James. I beat Pat and Miki, tied for third with James. The goal would be, the goal is always to win. Who am I kidding? The goal is always to win.
How many? I think Chestnut had 15 pounds last year. Do you remember how many you had?
I want to say Chestnut was around like 14 and a half last year. 'Cause the record's like 16 from the year before. I think James and I tied right around like 11 pounds, 11 and a half pounds. I think Jeff was around like 12 and a half, 13 pounds, something like that.
That's a lot of meat.
It's it's more than I would condone eating for most people. Yeah.
How does your body process?
Don't ask.
I gotta know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta know.
His plumber's on speed dial.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, just like everybody else, just more. But it's with foods like that. The sodium is obviously very high, in like a hot dog or bologna or wings or whatever. So that, at least from a sodium standpoint, in the next 12 to 24 hours, will try to see itself out and expedite itself outward. So you have to do a good job of consuming a lot of water.
Yeah.
Which after the contest is hard because you don't really have the real estate to consume water. So it's a strange balance. And you want flavor, but if you consume things like Gatorade and what have you, that's also loaded with sodium, and you're just doing yourself a big disservice. So that, but I would be interested, like, I had a buddy that worked at the University of Tampa, because I'm down outside of Tampa, and we were talking about possibly getting me in there for a scan, like Miki and I, to see like what happens when we eat 54 hot dogs and buns, and also what happens when we eat like we normally do, like normal human amounts of food, like a chicken breast and an avocado and some corn or whatever. Like, do we process that the same as everybody else? Because while I think, like, obviously we're human beings, there's probably some adaptations over time to the things that we've done, good, bad, or indifferent. So that might be kind of fun to find out.
I feel like your organs would like move. Like
they
definitely,
they definitely like.
Yeah.
That's how I can tell I've had a really good run. To be honest with you, is like, obviously there's the and I look like a Ninja Turtle, but if it's to the point where like I have to kind of take shallow breaths, that's a pretty good sign that I've filled up the cavity pretty well, because my lungs are now being compressed by my stomach. So.
Yeah. Nick, have you ever been scared at a contest or after a contest, like maybe I did eat too much?
No, but Miki would probably tell you that that governor got ripped off the Power Wheels a long time ago. There's not like if there's a fault that I have, it's probably that. Like, there's no breaks. If like it's kind of like that mentality that I've heard before. Like, if you and I get on a treadmill, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to get off your treadmill, or I'm going to die on mine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of like, so it's never that. And I think there's a good amount of just adrenaline and competitiveness and what have you. Like, even in how much I practice and things, like, that's where she's a really good balance for me sometimes, where she can kind of, and actually even Chestnut, because Joey and I are real good friends. There's even times when he'll be like, you need to chill a little bit. Like, like here, 2 years ago, I remember specifically, he's like, I'm going to say this in a nice way. And I'm like, you're pretty intense. And I'm like, yeah. But I think there's a balance somewhere that you have to try to find. And but for me, it's never been like after a contest. Don't get me wrong. Like, you eat 18 pounds of poutine, you're not skipping down the street. Ooh. You don't necessarily feel super. or 18.5 pounds of strawberry shortcake or what have you. But there's never so much a fear. And most of the time after a contest, I'm either so psyched with how I performed or more times than not frustrated with the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any thought about like, oh no, I might have done something wrong. I'm more so replaying what happened in the contest and trying to figure out how to get better, which a psychologist probably wouldn't say is great, but that's truthfully what's happening.
Hey, our friend Billy Holland, who had a real good showing this past weekend at a local barbecue contest, coming in first in chicken wings and second in pork. Congratulations, Billy Holland. He wants to know, Nick, is it harder to get satisfied from a normal meal?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I'm never in a normal week, if I don't have a practice or a contest, I'm typically never what most people would consider satiated, right? That I can eat a meal and emotionally be fine and move on because like that adaptation came from bodybuilding, you know, the yo-yo dieting that I had to do for a dozen years. So I don't need to feel physically satiated because without going total nerd, you have two kinds of receptors that sense fullness. There's the ones that sense caloric load, that go like, okay, cool, that's enough cheesecake, we could chill out a little bit. But those for competitive eaters have likely downregulated over time because before 50 hot dogs, those receptors are going to go like, I think that's cool. 17 hot dogs is probably enough calories. Yeah. And you just tell like, hey, I'm in charge here. We got 40 more to put down. Where the receptors called mechanoreceptors, those are the ones that actually sense physical space when you actually start to run. And for most people, those typically you don't feel, they don't fire, except for probably in a normal year on like Thanksgiving when you have to like tilt the car seat back to drive home. You know, like you're full after dinner and then you're like, oh, I couldn't eat anything more. And someone's like, hey, there's dessert. And you're like, yeah, I could eat a little more. And you kind of waddle over and eat it. That feeling after Thanksgiving, if you were to multiply that like tenfold, that's how we feel after a lot of contests.
That describes it pretty good. That's pretty good there.
Yeah. You see, I walk like Humpty Dumpty back to my rental car or wherever I'm going that given week.
How many days does it take you to feel normal again?
Depending on the contest, I would say 24 to 48 hours, maybe. Because like sweets, you'll feel typically worse faster. They will process.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Oh yeah.
But they pass faster, right? Because typically the fiber intake, the fat intake, the protein intake, the things that take longer to break down is going to be a little bit lower in sweet foods, where like the savory meat-based foods, or we don't have many high fiber foods, but like the meat and fat-based foods, those take a lot more enzymes to break down. So those you'll feel dehydrated, but those linger a little bit longer. But that's why we love foods like wings and ribs and stuff too, because we really don't fill up. If I'm going to eat like 240 chicken wings, like that's less food than 56 hot dogs and buns. And so it's a little bit easier for me to recover from something like that.
I would hate to see your glucose level like after all that bread.
Oh, God,
I don't want to see it either. Like I think I did like 11 pounds of fudge a couple years ago. 18 pounds of strawberry shortcake. And I'm like, those are the times. And I'm like, yeah, doctor's probably not thrilled.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A glucose meter would go off the scale.
Tell everybody what you do for a living in your real world, Nick, because what you do, I think, kind of complements what you do.
I think so. Yeah. So I run what's called a Southern Nutrition. So a supplement store, vitamins, minerals, we do diets, training plans, things like that for customers and clients. So I've basically been in and out of nutrition-based retail or customer service or in the gym space for probably the better part of 15 years. So in a strange, and when I was bodybuilding, that seems like a logical, linear draw. When people come in, sometimes they'll come in with an appointment and they'll look and they'll be like, they're like, are you? And when I have this, I can't really be like, no, I'm not that guy. That's definitely a different guy. Like, they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah. This is the same guy that ate a 5-pound Reese's replica twice. Yeah, that's the guy telling you to go on a diet.
Real quick fun fact about the 5-pound Reese's replica that I made myself. I was going to go to culinary school before I did all this stuff. I made it. I ate it. We filmed it, and that's tough. You know, especially those are almost easier to eat fast because like you rip the Band-Aid off. Eating them slow and talking and all that. 2 days later, Nikki's like, "How was that peanut butter cup?" I'm like, "It was tough, but yeah, I was happy with how it came out." She's like, "Would you want to do it again?" Why? She's like, "I accidentally deleted the file." I'm like, oh, I was seething in anger, having to remake it all over again and consume it again. There was plenty of select 4-letter words that we had to cut out from that YouTube video in the editing process. But that was a fun one. But yes, when people come in, it does, I will say, having done bodybuilding and having done competitive eating and being at levels of body fat where I was losing the fat paddings at the bottom of my feet or I have striations in my glutes, all the way to consuming, 70 bratwursts in 8 minutes, what have you.
46 moon pies in 8 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm on your website. Like, I'm just fascinated with this.
When people come in and they're having a tough time dieting and they're like, "Oh, you just I can't describe to you how hungry I am." I'm like, "Oh, country."
I bet you can.
Like you actually have to deal with hunger. I feel like, Walter from The Big Lebowski. I'm like, you're entering a world of pain. All right, like you have no idea. So it's but it does help me relate. But I can also empathize with people because I know what really strong hunger signaling is like, and I know what having no appetite at times is like back when I was bodybuilding or vice versa. So as strange as it is, A, it's a great conversation starter. And B, I think there's something very humanizing about somebody who's done all those absurd things, I guess.
Absolutely. How old are you, Nick?
I'm 36.
All right. Joey Chestnut's 43. I think he's a year younger than Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, I think that's 42. Yeah.
Yeah. What I don't know how another way to ask it. What's the life expectancy of a professional eater? not dying. I'm talking about professional.
Sure.
Like, how long can you do this?
Your career, not your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Your career.
When you start, because like Jeff, I think is around 50, but Jeff's very active. He did like powerlifting before he did this, and he's only been doing this, I want to say maybe 10 years, maybe a smidge longer. Where Joey at 43 has been doing this probably, I think like 21 years, 22 years. So there's a lot more mileage in those 22 than let's say Jeff's got at 50. But eventually, I think for everybody, regardless of what the thing is, I think it could even be some mental based things, even golf. Like your body will say no at some point. But I think it's more likely that the mind may say no first. So I don't know how long I could do this. It's one of the reasons Miki she graduates literally on Thursday. My wife with her 3rd degree. This one's in dental hygiene. So, and it's not because she doesn't love competitive eating, but it's like, in 10 years, maybe I just want to do my 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, banker's hours, cleaning teeth instead of, shoveling hot dogs. Right now, shoveling hot dogs is fun and it's a blast traveling, but also when the kids get into high school, we want to be around every single weekend to go to games and to go do all that stuff. And that's a lot easier to do when you're not in Maine or Texas eating sausages. Right. So who knows, but I think when I'm going to be done is I used to say when I'm not having fun or when I'm not making money. But those two things are kind of hand in hand, but I get anxious before every contest and I'm still excited to practice. And I think when those things go away is even if I still want to make the money or have the fun, if I'm not willing to practice and I'm not getting anxious before contests, I think the love for it's gone. So when I don't care enough to get amped, I heard Brett Favre say it. I grew up a huge Green Bay Packers fan. It's like he wanted to still play, but he didn't want to go to practice anymore. He just wanted to show up on Sundays, hopefully not get hit and throw the ball. But you owe it to the other guys to do the stuff. And like, I personally am a firm believer that like, people ask me like, have you ever been winning a contest and you kind of just coast the last couple minutes because and it's like, no, I have 1 year. People have taken time off of work. People have driven far distances. People have sent me messages on social media or what have you, or had me on podcasts. I owe it to every single one of those people who cared or supported me or sent me nasty messages, plenty of those, to put everything I have into it so that I can tell the kids anything you do needs to get all of you. Not part of you, not some of you. You don't need to do it again, but you do need to give it everything you have when you're in it.
Good, super attitude, Nick. Super attitude. A true professional. What kind of a relationship do you eaters have with Major League Eating and George Shea and his brother? Do y'all have a close working relationship, or is it just we're going to have a contest? You guys, anybody want to show up? Show up.
No. With the Shays, I've known George and Rich for 9 years now, more like 8 years, but 9 total, I guess. They've become like friends of mine at this point. Like George, I have pictures from this past week and he's holding and tickling my son, and Rich, don't get me wrong. Like Rich and we've had it out a couple of times on the phone, just like any, I think, like business relationship at times, but it's because we both care about trying to do our best in the given thing. It wasn't, anything necessarily adversarial as much as just frustration with the circumstance of the time. But Rich and George have been great to me. I can be tough Miki would say I can be abrasive at times. She can be incredibly abrasive at times. But they're through some stuff beyond the competitive eating table. They've also inevitably been there. Yeah. Stuff that had nothing to do with moon pies or hot dogs or corn. George and Rich will pick up the phone and call, or vice versa. When I've heard about, things in their personal life away from the Major League Eating circuit, I'll reach out to, like, on holidays, I'm calling Rich and George. It's just what it is. So I'm incredibly thankful. Like any business thing, you're going to butt heads at times, but it's much closer than that. And I'm super appreciative for it, because I think sometimes people look at them as like the evil empire, the powers that be behind the curtain. But at least to myself, Miki, and my family, they've been phenomenal.
So they protect the shield like the NFL, but they've got a good human side too.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely there. So that makes it easier to practice and fight for too. Because when we go to the given place that given weekend, you want to do well for, let's say, Elm Hill Meats, Dead End Barbecue, Major League Eating, the city of Knoxville, everybody. Yeah. You want everybody to win. That's what we're there for.
So walk me through what will go on in Knoxville. I believe it's at noon, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
And so does each eater have a spotter in front helping you and coaching you along?
So not at this one per se. Depends on the contest setup. But this one, I think we're going to have counters. At this one, at least probably the top, who they assume to be the top 5 to 6, will have counters. Or they might have a counter behind and then a spotter in front kind of counting bologna, telling the counter. And that makes it easy for the crowd too, watching, trying to see like where the numbers are. But we'll have people whose job it is to count. And then there's people whose job it is to refill plates so nobody goes without, because seconds are the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah.
In this stuff. George will be on the mic, of course. George will be on the mic, and then I think the other George and Rich Shea will be on the broadcast mics. From Dead End Barbecue, and that should be a lot of fun. But we'll all get up there, myself, Joey Chestnut, Pat Bertoletti, Jeff Esper, James Webb, Radim Dvorchich from the Czech Republic. I think Derek Hendrickson from Vegas. Stacked contest. A lot of great eaters, to where if you trip, you're going to cost yourself some money and some placing. So Joey's obviously got 2 belts. in a row. Those giant red bologna belts. Everybody wants those belts, wants the check. And it's always nice to try to knock the guy off the top of the mountain. So it's gonna be fun, you know. And plus, once you've done a contest once, you kind of have an idea of like, okay, let me adjust this and see if and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it backfires, but let me adjust this. Let me try this. If I can, you have a better idea for pacing. So usually as you see contests go on year over year, if conditions are the same, weather conditions, numbers will slightly start to climb because people make adjustments.
Your Super Bowl is coming up in 67 days.
Yes.
The Nathan's hot dog eating contest at Coney Island. Are you getting psyched? I mean, is this something that you really you and the whole family are looking forward to? And is this like the big deal? Is this like they make it on ESPN?
So yeah, it's great. You know, I met Miki at the gym the morning of the hot dog eating contest in 2018. You know, that's like the most on brand thing possible. It was like 4:30 in the morning, and that's where I met her. But
wow,
so there's a special place in our heart, obviously, because of that. But the contest itself is one we kind of practice for, or I personally practice for almost year round. Try to incrementally get better because I have a lot of guys that I'm trying to jump now, and I'm at this point now where, don't get me wrong, there's always been really good eaters. You know, Joey hitting 76, or whether it was Carmen Sincati or Kobayashi or, you know, Tim Janis or Pat Bertoletti throughout the years. But to have this many guys at the table at one time that are capable of like 50 plus is a really deep talent pool. And you know everybody's going to bring it that given day. So it's fun. It's anxiety inducing because I also have a crippling fear of letting people down that like support me and wish me luck and all that stuff. So like a lot of my motivation comes from that. And but for us as a family, you know, we typically fly out roughly a week ahead of time into New York. Miki has a lot of media to do, of course, as the 11-time undefeated women's champ.
Yeah.
So she'll have a ton of that. We'll go in, kind of enjoy the city for a couple of days, do some media. I'll have a ton of like Zoom media and radio tours to do. And you kind of just try to get into the headspace of where you need to be, which for her and I is very different. She kind of stays busy and is bouncing around in a super happy place, like smiling. I slowly, outside of being dad and husband, I slowly kind of detach from everything personally, because that makes it easier for me to get into a headspace to compete. There are actually times I wish I was better at that. I think people who are really, really good competitors are good at dissociating from life things. I always make the joke that I think LeBron James would average 40 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists a game if he was a worse human being. You know, I think like being married to your high school sweetheart and, you know, being an involved dad does not make you a better basketball player. You know, I think it takes some of you, and I think that's good. I think he's probably happy with that thing. But when you look at some of the best ever at what they do, typically they're not looked at as father of the year material.
Yeah.
People probably get offended by that, but it's like, just run the list. You know,
no, I listened to an interview with John McEnroe the other night, and I thought, what an asshole.
Right. And I think that makes you more proficient. Like no.
Yeah, but like, look how good he was. Yeah.
Right. Like no one's going to call and be like, man, I hope Michael Jordan can babysit my kids. You know, it's probably not going to happen, but like he was just, it didn't matter because what mattered was winning. And for me personally, it is really hard to turn off being dad or being husband or what have you. And I actually, when I say it's hard, I mean, I can't do it. It's not in me to do it. And that probably makes me, that's not an excuse is that I'm saying that probably makes me less proficient at my job come stage time. But I always say, I was just actually doing an interview a few weeks ago, and my competitive eating will get everything I have. Trying to win the Nathan's title and be the best in the world will get everything I have once I'm done being husband and father first. Then I can fulfill those things, but those cups have to be filled first.
Well, how much do you think winning the Nathan's hot dog eating contest would be worth? Now, I'm not talking the prize money. I'm not, or appearance money, prize money. You just in it's like Jason winning a barbecue contest. What's the overall value of your profession for that?
It's tough because it's like there's obviously there's the prize money the day of, but then there's the media that goes along with.
Yeah.
And the ranking is like, and if you are going to be the guy that knocked off Joey, that comes with an immense financial value. Because you'll be on every radio station in the United States for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Because you will have to just book them outwardly. Because I know Miki probably does 75 interviews in the next 2 days, and she's won 11 times in a row. So if you were to be that guy that moved the immovable object, but at what cost is always the thing. And there's not a right or wrong answer. So I don't want anybody to think like, oh, are you saying it's not worth? No, it probably is worth it to some people to try to go to that degree. And for me, like, I hope I can, I will do everything in my power to get there after doing dad and husband stuff, because I personally see it as my job to be that first. And that's what I would like to pass on to my kids. Like, hey, look, whatever your endeavor is, if you're a concert piano player or an astronaut or a accountant, it should get everything you have after prioritizing the people in your life that mean the most to you.
Good advice. Excellent advice.
Thank you. And I could be wrong. There's probably some people like gonna watch this and be like, "What an idiot!" But that's their personal thing, man. For me, it's like I wouldn't want to sit home, let's say in 25 years, looking at my trophies, and my kids don't want to bring my grandkids over to see me.
For the most part, though, 25 years from now, nobody's going to know who won that contest.
Yeah.
But your kids are going to know that you weren't there.
Yeah, my grandkids aren't going to be like, "Cool bacon trophy, Grandpa." So it would be cool, but I'd rather just have them. Like, my goal, I think, is, my daughter is 11, my middle one is 8, my son is 8, and my youngest son is 4. And in 20 odd years, when they all have little nightmares running around their house, I want them to call me and be like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? You want to come over?" Or vice versa. "Can we come over? Can we all?" That to me would be like, that I win. I've won in whatever I did, versus like the phone call and like, "Oh yeah, or just."
Well, I can see in 20 years your grandkids inviting their friends over, saying, "Hey guys, come on over, watch Grandpa eat 7 turkeys.
Come watch this psychopath eat a bunch of food." But yeah,
and watch mom eat 17 pounds of dressing. It's Grandma's great.
We did that actually. I think we combined for like 25 pounds of stuffing. That was really rough. Miki and I did 2 big bowls. I mean, that was a whole nother story. But yeah, so I think like I do think I'm capable of I know I'm capable of still progressing, because I'm progressing through practices right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, we'll see where it goes. And I just need to, if I can lay my head on the pillow and know like I turned over every rock I possibly could while maintaining priorities, then ultimately I'll still be poopy pants when contos don't go my way, but I'll be able to sleep at night.
Nick, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
No,
you don't know how much we appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I can't wait to meet you. And please, when I meet you on on that weekend, I'm going to get you to sign my bologna chub. Okay.
Yeah, I know that sounds good, man. Sorry for rambling at all. So my wife tells me.
No, Nick, you were great. And you're so gracious for helping us out tonight, taking Pat's place, and hopefully we're going to get him on next week and right before the contest. So make sure you tune in. Nick, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Nick Weary, the number 6 ranked eater in the world, getting ready for the Knoxville 10. I think he's got a sausage contest this weekend, he said. What a unique young man.
Yeah.
Just
I like him. He's solid. And he's got his priorities in mind. I think that's important for everybody to know where your priorities are.
Absolutely. Let's take a real quick break. We'll be right back here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show with Cameron Parker, Jason Penley, and Steve Ray. Stay with us.
This is Ned. He is the proud owner
of a pit barrel cooker. Dad, tell us what you like about it the most.
It's an excitement every time you use it.
Excitement.
Excitement. It's every time. I put a roast in there. My wife loved it. 3.5 pounds. Let's see, I've had steaks in it, cooked chicken in it, hang the birds in there, hung steaks, hot dogs. Put some seasoning on them and just hung them up with your little hangers here.
Yeah.
And just hung them up in there for about, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes. Came out nice and juicy and tender.
All right, let's move on now. Jason Penley. We'll come to you in just a minute, Cameron. Jason, let's talk about recap for everybody watching. Jason Penley, what an amazing man. I mean, he's a man's man.
The man.
Talk about this whirlwind tour that you went on just this week.
Ooh, you want me to start from leaving home?
Yeah, I do.
So I left home last Wednesday morning in the wee hours and drove straight to San Antonio, 1,025 miles straight through. Stopped to get gas only. Spent Thursday in San Antonio. Got in the car Friday morning. Went from San Antonio to South Haven, Mississippi, and met my good friend Cody Howard with Rolling Smoke Barbecue and give him a hand at Springfest in South Haven. And we, as soon as the awards were over, of course, we were on Central Time, got in the truck and drove home, and 3 a.m. Sunday morning, I laid down.
3 a.m.
That literally
What an adventurous
certifies you as a
trip.
psychopath.
What an adventurous trip.
Do what, Cameron?
I said that literally certifies you as a psychopath.
It was wild. I still haven't fully recovered.
Yeah.
How was that contest in South Haven? I thought that was a bigger contest. Somebody corrected me and said it wasn't that big. I thought it was a big contest.
It was decent size. I think the board said there was 84 teams total.
That's
but that
big.
but that's a combined of it was a Pro Cook Master Series only in KCBS, but that was MBN also.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of MBN teams there as well.
That's still a big contest. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there was 32, 34 KCBS only teams, and the rest were MBN.
So how did Cody do?
Second place in chicken.
Ooh.
He was watching. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Ninth place ribs, 9th place brisket for a 7th place overall or 8th place overall.
Sweet. That's good.
Only thing we didn't get a call in was
33rd.
pork. Yeah, there was 33 teams total in KCBS.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it was well run, organized.
Yeah. I found out real quick though. I don't think I ever want to do MBN.
That's a different world, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what they do in Memphis in May.
Yeah. There he's
Yeah, there he is.
9th chicken, 9th brisket, 2nd in ribs.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had it backwards. I know those teams know what they're doing and they're well oiled, but coming from a KCBS standpoint or viewpoint, it's chaos. It is chaos. And a lot of partying, to be honest with you. And I tell everybody, we're a cooking team, not a drinking team. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of drinking teams out there, but we're a cooking team. When we show up to compete, we're there to win. We're there to throw down food, not alcohol. So
were they a lot of whole hogs?
Yeah, a lot of whole hogs. And I learned MBN that there's different categories. You can do baby backs.
Mm-hmm.
You can show up and just cook ribs if you want to.
Yeah.
You can cook pork. You can cook whole hog, or I'm assuming you can cook all of them if you want to do that. And when you do a turn in, like let's say you turn your rib box in, if you've won like the previous category, if you're competing, right? They come to your tent and tell you if you made it to the finals, because the way they do, the judges come to your tent and you have to put on a presentation For lack of better terms, you got to sell it to them. You got to show them what you did. You know, a lot of these guys cooking whole hog, they'll have the hog on their hog cooker. And then for their turn-in boxes, they'll cut the shoulder out. They'll cut the tenderloin out. And then if they make it to the finals, they'll take the rack out of their hog cooker and spin the hog around to a fresh side for their presentation, and then go again when the judges come to their site. Yeah. So it's those teams. I mean, let's say Boar's Not Out. They weren't next to us, but they sat next to us at the awards ceremony. I bet they had 15 people on their team. Mm-hmm. It was insane.
How many hogs did they cook? One or two?
I don't know. From what I seen, most of them were only cooking one whole hog. Mm-hmm. From what I seen. But I mean, if you're doing ribs, I mean, they're cooking multiple racks of ribs, because you gotta have enough ribs if they come to your site to put on the presentation with ribs and stuff. So lots of food that they cook, a lot more than what we do.
Oh yeah, I've always said that NBN is the major leagues. KCBS is down here.
Yeah, you got to have deep pockets to cook the amount of proteins that they're cooking. It's insane. Mm-hmm. But like one site that Cody and I went to, they were doing turn-ins. They turn in at odd times, like 10:30 in the morning. There was people carrying boxes, and I was like, that's strange. What the heck are they turning in now? You know, and then like 11:15, they're carrying more boxes. What in the world? You know. But like we went over to a group of people that we know, and they do double bone. I don't know if you know that. Like KCBS with St. Louis style ribs, we cut single bones and turn in minimum of 6 in the box. Mm-hmm. But they do double bones, two bones per slice. And I reckon
that's called Cadillac cut.
Now that I don't know, you got me on that one, but I think the judges like tear it apart, and they, somewhat maybe judge some of the tenderness or what on the tear. I'm not sure, but they had one person. This particular team that I'm speaking of, they had one person slicing, one person was finish dusting, one person was saucing, one person was boxing, and I'm like, holy moly! Like we do all that ourselves. But it was definitely an experience for sure. It was wild.
Well, it sounds like you had a great time, and you learned a lot just by watching those guys cook.
Yeah, fantastic.
There was an NBN contest here years ago.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we participated in the what their equivalent to their backyard would be.
Okay.
But Heath Riles was there. Malcolm was there.
Well, Heath had his trailer. Excuse me. Heath had his trailer there, and he was there Friday prepping, but and he put a post on Facebook Monday or Tuesday.
He got sick.
Yes. Yeah. He there was a lot of chatter going around. Where's he at? Because me and Cody, we could see his trailer from where we were at, and it was like, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, he ain't coming back. Like his pit's not even fired up unless he's showing back up with cooked food. They don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he put a post out there that he started feeling ill Friday when he was there meat prepping, and he couldn't return.
Yeah, it was. He probably had that same cold I had, man.
Possibly, yeah.
Because I had to work Saturday, and it was awful. It was terrible.
Right.
But I recovered, and he will too. What you got coming up? One this week? A double
this weekend.
First double ever, right?
Yep, first one ever. I'll be going down to I think it's Cleveland, Alabama, to the Oh So Good barbecue contest that's put on by Gareth, and he is the organizer of it. And it's a KCBS double. I'll go down on Friday morning and get everything set up and ready, and one contest on Saturday, and then start over Saturday afternoon and get ready to do it again on Sunday.
Well, that sounds like fun. Before we get to camera, let me remind everybody that on June the 6th is the 2026 Ooltewah Barbecue Brawl at Cambridge Square. Next Tuesday night, we will be naming all the teams that are in the contest. The contest is full. Matter of fact, we got +1 this year, which is great. And we'll be naming all the judges. We'll introduce you to the teams, introduce you to the judges, and introduce you to the support staff of all of us that will be there on June the 6th from 11 until 4 at the Ooltewah Barbecue Brawl at Cambridge Square. And the master of ceremonies is with us right here. That guy from Facebook, Cameron Parker. And I know he will do a great job. And Cameron, you are going to have a great time.
I'm looking forward to it.
This is you will have a great time. And Jason, I wish you could be there. I know you got your work stuff to do.
Yep.
But we'll have a good time, and we'll be getting into it next Tuesday night. All right, Cameron, we are going to go over Cameron's.
It's time for the Dad Bod Restaurant Review. Did Cam eat at your place? Let's find out with Cameron Parker.
Honestly, after those first two, I ate a bunch of food. It was good, and y'all have a good night.
Oh, no.
You knocked your green screen over. Tell me about Winona's flavor spray. If you haven't seen this video, folks, go to Cameron's TikTok and check this stuff out. Tell me about that. I'd never heard.
You were telling me about before, Cameron.
Yep.
Okay.
So it finally went live. Yeah, this is a brand partnership that I got contacted about, and it was really cool. So they sent me the product, tried it, actually enjoyed it. Like they're actually really cool. Like the hot sauce one tastes like hot sauce. The butter one tastes like butter. You can add it to pretty much any snack that you want and change the flavor of it. It's pretty cool. They're available at Walmart. Yeah,
that's called Winona's flavor spray.
It's just a little liquid.
Little liquid spray.
It's aerosol. It's aerosol.
Yeah, it's aerosol.
Yeah.
It's got they got caramel. They've got a garlic butter, a theater butter for like popcorn and stuff. That's kind of where it started. And then
did that taste like authentic?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it tastes just like theater butter to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could spray it on your popcorn.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's the cool thing, though, and that's where they came out with the other flavors, is that you can get creative. So, some people like to dress up their popcorn. So you could hit it with a butter. A few sprays of that hot sauce on there would probably make some popcorn pretty awesome, too. Or you can make sweet popcorn. You can put the caramel on it. It's pretty awesome.
They need to make a competition barbecue flavor, and I'll just spray it on some real stuff.
That's what you do. That's that secret ingredient that nobody can see in the trailer there.
Yeah, just spray it on your food, and here, call it win in a can.
Yeah. And that whole process is a lot of fun and interesting, and it's actually a lot more work than I thought it would be, because I had to submit script ideas and stuff like that. They had to get back with me. They tweaked the scripts a little bit. The reactions are genuine. But a lot of the order of operations, they want to see that. And then you do the video, you post that. They may ask you to tweak it. Luckily, I did my first draft and they were like, love it, post it. But everything has to be posted at a certain time on a certain day, because then what they do is they kick a bunch of money into it and promote it. So that video has 130,000 views on TikTok.
Did they contact you or did you contact them?
No, they contacted me.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't really, at this point, I don't really have time to reach out to anybody. So it's kind of whatever hits the inbox.
We're going to skip this one for right now and come back to it. Gabriel's Pizza, the most expensive pizza I've ever heard of.
God, it was very expensive. It was good. Look, don't get me wrong. It looked
good. I mean, it looked really good.
Yeah, it was a very good pizza, but they are proud of it, boy. And I think part of that price, and this is where I wish I could have saved my receipt. I have my receipt, but I don't have the itemized one. I think we were getting hit for refills on the drinks, which is unusual. You don't see that very often, and don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like when I just glanced at it, I saw 7 or 8 drink charges. And there were just 3 of us. So that could have played a factor.
Yeah, drinks. I mean, they're expensive out.
Oh yeah, $1.99, $2.
That's why everybody's drinking water.
Coke and
But 8.8 out of 10. That's pretty strong pizza.
It's good pizza. Yeah, it's good. Definitely good pizza. Very good dough. Their dough.
Gabriel's Pizza in Cleveland, 8.8 out of 10.
I was fixing to ask. I'm out of the loop this week. I've been busy. I ain't been on social media that much, so I hadn't seen.
I never remember my scores from the week anyway. So I thank God for Steve.
That's why he has me.
That's right.
That's why.
I was just curious to where it was at.
Yeah, Cleveland.
He's terrible with directions. He doesn't.
I don't know. It was in Cleveland somewhere.
I don't think he knows his address.
And I know where it's at. That's all good.
I live somewhere in Tennessee.
Patsy's cornbread salad. Tell me about that.
So
what
that
a good-looking group of girls in that
Yeah,
video.
absolutely.
All of them are cuties.
That is the most interesting kind of flavor. When I told everybody, hey, I'm going to the cornbread festival, everybody said you got to try Patsy's cornbread salad. I'm like, what in the heck is a cornbread salad? And apparently this started from year one. This is 29 years in the festival, and Patsy's has been there from day one. And it's a cold cornbread crumble with like this seasoned mayo kind of mixture in it, and it's got tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, and maybe something else in there. I'm not 100% sure, but it's like this, like refreshing. Imagine pasta salad, but with cornbread instead of pasta. It's very interesting, and I liked it. I thought it was really cool.
9.1 out of 10.
Yeah, summer flavor. I would pair that with ribs and a baked potato any day. That would make for a good like backyard barbecue. Oh, absolutely.
Interesting. Tell me about Chef. I didn't really understand this one, Cameron. Chef Rico Omakase Part 1.
Omakase. So omakase is a Japanese word that means I leave it to you or leave it to the chef, meaning there's no menu. The chef chooses everything for you, and they prepare it. It's sushi, and they prepare it in front of you. So the fish that we were having, and let me back up a little bit. This is not a meal. This is an experience. It's very expensive. I think it's somewhere between $150 and $160 a person. It's 3 hours long, and it's a whole experience. So when you sit down, the first thing Rico does is he explains everything to you. These are the different fish that we're using. He had some A5 Wagyu. He had, all these things, and you see him break down the fish. Like he had whole fish. So he's filleting them, breaking them down right there in front of you, and makes your sushi right in front of you. There's only 8 spots at the table, so it's very tight knit. And one of the things that he's doing that's going to be really cool is he's actually expanding. So business has been booming for Rico, and he bought the unit right next door to him in the strip there. So in about another 2 months, there's going to be a private omakase room. And that's what the experience is supposed to be more like. Right now, it's part of the restaurant, but it's supposed to be intimate, private, kind of a you and the chef. You can ask questions, you can talk. So yeah, it was amazing. So that was part 1. This is probably going to be like 6 parts, just because I don't want to do a disservice to the talent that you will see watching him do it, because he did everything right in front of me. He gave me a great seat at the table.
Now
see everything.
On the A5 Wagyu, that's obviously not a fish. Does he cook that for you?
It gets torched, basically. So and he has a little Japanese style hibachi barbecue, right? And it doesn't get much. Now we're talking it just gets kissed, but it just puts a little char on that flavor. I mean, you can eat that raw. I mean, that's what tartare is, raw beef. And yeah, that one was in particular amazing. Just you don't even chew it. You just put it on your tongue and
melts in your mouth. Yeah,
amazing.
Give you worms.
Hey, if that's what it takes, be all right.
I get rid of them right there. Each little parts cleaner.
That's right.
They sell that stuff at Walmart.
That's why I drink Monster. It'll kill just about anything. And alcohol.
Let's see. Let's go to you did the lo mein burger review, but that's an old.
That's a repost. Just migrating content as we get ready for the launch of the app, DadBod Go app, Discover Food Differently. A lot of my content that started in TikTok will be migrating to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, so that you have options for how you watch them.
This next one, I was really happy you went there. The Epicurean in East Ridge, which is an East Ridge tradition legendary place.
Yeah, and apparently people are excited that I went there. There's a lot of comments on that video. That video's been up for like 2 hours, and there's over 100 comments. Like people are excited about Epicurean. I was excited. It was awesome. Some of the best pork chops I've ever had. It was
squash. You gave it an 8.8.
Pretty good. Mm-hmm.
The greens got a 9.6.
Very solid.
Must have been some good greens.
Yeah.
The little pastry that burns your mouth, you said it was good, but you didn't rate it because you didn't know what it was.
Yeah, dude, I'm not kidding.
Somebody commented said it's a turnover.
No, and I've seen like 4 different things. Like somebody said baklava. It's not baklava. I know what baklava is. It's not a turnover. It's like a cheese pastry. It's they call them like, I guess, like cheese rolls is what the majority of people were saying.
the pork chops got a 10 out of 10, and you cut that
Heck
with
yeah,
that
man.
plastic knife.
Dang right. I absolutely.
Dang.
And look, I cut
That's good.
several pieces with the plastic knife before I just ditched the whole thing, picked up the bone, and just went caveman on that thing because it was awesome. So good. And there were 2 of them in the box. Like, it's a big meal. And I ate both of them. I'm not.
K Cook says they call Epicurean the blue hair.
That is
Yeah,
true.
but I
That's
get that. Now look, it was an older clientele in there. And
They got that cool new sign up there. I mean, the old sign was really dated. They got that cool sign. Why didn't you? Did you eat the rolls?
Yeah, I ate them. I know, because like I can't let the video be 9 minutes long. Like, there's a lot of dang food.
I'm not criticizing.
There were some apples in there too.
Their rolls are like their trademark.
They were good. I wouldn't say it was anything like
Really? Okay.
yeah. I mean, like if it was like if it affected me, it'd be in the video.
Okay. All right. Not criticizing. Don't,
Yeah. No,
don't-
I know.
Settle down. I
It's
know
my
you're a
page.
little
I
on
don't
edge.
care.
Let's go back to the. I think the review of the week was Couch's Barbecue. What a plethora of comments
Yeah. You wanna
all
talk
over
about,
all over the
getting things going.
all over the range.
I'll have to go back and check that out.
Oh, Jason, you wanna watch that one?
Really?
Well, you want to watch it and you want to read just settle in for a few minutes,
Okay.
get comfortable and just enjoy the scroll.
Really?
Yeah.
Controversial?
Comments, actually, surprisingly, no. I
Okay.
will say so, and I don't want to give it. Actually, I don't really want to talk
You're
about
fine.
this with Steve. I really want Jason to watch this video.
All right.
I rated it honestly with my honest opinion of it, with a little disclaimer after I learned a little bit more about it after the fact. And I was surprised to see that about 90% of the comments actually agreed with me, because I thought I was going to get crucified on social media.
Now that's the one that does the shaved ham, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I thought
You
I
rated
thought
it a
for sure.
6.5 out of 10. The sandwich 6.5 out of 10.
see.
Well,
and after, like, so I actually went to Steve's afterwards. I don't want to say why I was there specifically. But
you got a
Steve,
hot dog.
Okay, yeah. So
You're still
I
hungry.
okay. So we were talking about it a little bit, and I, Steve said, "Man, might want to be careful with this one." And I said, "Look, I got to be honest. Like, that's my whole brand. Like, this was
Right.
what I thought." But yeah, I thought for sure I was going to get.
It wasn't a bad review.
No, it wasn't,
Some
and
of
it
the
wasn't
comments-
disrespectful. It's
Some
a
of the
great
comments
place.
were mean. I mean,
Yeah.
but
That's
Okay.
where the fun came in. Now I can't be responsible for the way people comment.
no,
no.
I
But that's-
guarantee you. I guarantee you, it'll help their business. People will.
Oh,
Go
for
try
sure.
it.
People will go there to find out what what is sliced. It's
Yeah.
just it's old. It's the way barbecue was in 1946
Yeah,
Right.
and
when it
honestly, they
started.
don't-
That's the
they
way
don't
barbecue
need that.
was.
I tell you, they don't need my help. When I went there, it was packed.
Yeah.
And it was like 12:30 on a random day. Like it was packed. Like
Now, Steve, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
You're a fan though, right, Steve? You've been there.
Me, I love it.
Okay,
I
that's
think
what
it's
I thought.
great. I love the way it tastes. I love the texture. I love it because it's different. I like the way it tastes. I like the way it tastes better than pulled pork.
See,
Okay.
I liked the texture. I felt like
But I
it
like
was good
ham.
taste.
See, I like ham.
I
So,
love ham, dude. Like
Yeah.
my Christmas and Thanksgiving, I fight with my wife because I want to have ham.
See, I'm not a huge ham person. I'll eat it, but I'm not a huge ham person.
Well, these hams aren't cured either. They're not cured ham. They're smoked ham.
See, I felt like their ham was just very, very bland. Like I could taste a little smoke, but that was it. Like there was
Okay.
no, and and a lot of people were saying, well, you got to get the hot slaw on it, and that's great. I like the hot slaw now, and I want to try that. But like a lot of
Well-
comments in reply to that were, you shouldn't have to doctor something, or you serve it that way.
Right.
You make it that.
Yeah.
Know?
If I'm
So-
getting a ham sandwich, a shaved ham sandwich, I want to see what the ham's about. I'm gonna go try it. I'll go try it.
yeah, go try it, and I would love your report the next time you're on here.
I'm gonna go try it.
Actually,
can
I think
get it- you
should-
can get a
I think
plate
you
or a
should do a
sandwich.
review and post it. That's what I think you should do.
No, that'd be terrible. That'd be terrible.
Well, 1946 to 2026, 80
Yeah,
years.
80 years. Like, well, and I said that in the
That
video.
speaks
They're
volumes
doing
for
it right.
itself.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever they're doing it right.
Yeah, they've
Sure.
been doing it right.
And like you say in your other videos, you know, it wasn't for you, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, and you know how I am with my reviews. Like, I
Sure.
will never present information in a way that will be detrimental to a business.
Sure.
It just didn't work for me.
That's
Oh no, it was,
understandable.
and a 6.5 is
It's still not bad.
it's what Cameron said. You know, when did great become the enemy of good? You know,
Right.
6.5 is good food.
Yeah,
Right.
and to
Yeah.
me, a 6.5 is something that if I'm invited there and I'm going with friends, I will eat it again, right? Or really, I want to try something else because a lot of people said their ribs are fantastic.
Mhm.
So I'll try something else. But it's also not something that I'm going to, where am I trying to eat today? Oh, you know what? Let's go to Couches. Like that's I'm probably not there, but it is something I won't turn down. I'll say
Right.
that.
I got restaurants like that. You know, we all do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just good. It's just good food. That's all it is. It's not. It's nothing.
Billy, you and I need to go. Me and Billy will go try it out.
There you
Billy's
go.
It's not like eating. It's not like eating down at like Wardlaw's or anything like that. It's just
No.
a different experience and a different type of food.
No, Wardlaw's is spiritual. That's different.
Yeah, that place is just.
See, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not my thing.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
but see now, I feel like you're tainted though.
Well,
Just like I have been after going to that competition. With you,
it's
because things are different.
Robert Wardlaw cooks good food. Lucky IQ is good food. I love his sides. I will say that 100%. I love his sides. But if you wanted to go there and you say, let's go eat there, I'm not going to tell you no. I'll go eat there with you. But I'm like you with Couches. I'm just not. It's not. I don't know. It's just
Well, Jason, what don't you like about Wardlaw's? Is it too smoky?
It just, I don't know what seasoning he uses, but it kills me for days.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jason Penley on his last episode with the Owl's Nest Barbecue.
No, I have never eaten at Wardlaw's. I don't know what the food tastes like.
I feel like the brisket is very pot roasty tasting. I feel like I'm at my mama's eating her pot roast, which I like my mama's pot roast. Don't get me wrong, but I don't. It's just I don't know. It's very pot roasty brisket to me.
Okay. How about the ribs? Have you had the ribs?
I have. Yep, and they're okay. I mean, for a restaurant style rib, they're okay.
Yeah, because like that's actually, I'm glad you made that distinction because that's something I've had to start distinguishing now. Having had competition ribs, different. It's a different thing, but you can't do that at a restaurant level.
No, he can't,
Like-
and I get that. I get that.
Especially at their restaurant level.
Yep, I get that. And I used to tell everybody too, competition barbecue is not the greatest barbecue. It's middle of the road barbecue. But I'll say, and not myself, but the competition guys right now are turning in some of the best food
Yeah,
out
that
there.
was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God.
Pot roast.
It's just that.
I still got to go for the dino rib though. I've heard that is.
See, I'm not a beef rib guy.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't like beef ribs either.
Give me that beef. Give me that big guy.
No, I don't think I don't think beef ribs are good at all.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't either. If I'm going to do ribs, I want pork ribs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm no offense to
It's
Lucky.
okay.
It's
No,
all
we
good,
haven't
buddy.
offended
That's
anybody.
why we're here. That's why we talk.
Yep.
When Robert opens up Thursday, the line's going to be out to the street,
It will be.
and he's going to have a great time. And
Yep.
Yeah.
And I get the
The
hankering
food's
every
good.
once in a while, and I tell Jill, I'm like, let's go down to Lucky Eye. And then the next day, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm dying here.
Well, see, you're the problem then. Not the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah, but
It's your body that can't handle something so great.
If you remember, I said it's just not for me.
Well, Jason, let's back up. What barbecue restaurant is for you?
That's a great question.
Now I will say I had Pinkertons in San Antonio. Wow.
Let's get a little closer.
But let's
to
yeah,
home.
what could I go to?
Yeah.
I don't really go eat barbecue here.
Oh,
You don't.
I do not. And I tell everybody, even, I travel with my job. I cover 8 states with my job, or I'm in 8 states. I don't really go out hunting barbecue. I don't. I enjoy cooking it. I like cooking it here. I'll eat it. but it's just not something that I go out and eat. I don't look for it.
Okay.
I can't really tell you why. It's just, I don't know. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. Hey, no, I hear you.
Buddy's Barbecue. You ever been to Buddy's?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm not.
I would recommend
Jim and Nick's.
Highway
Never did Jim and Nick's?
That's good.
No.
Mission Barbecue.
I like
Nope.
Mission. Mission's good.
Is it
Nope.
good? I'll tell you one thing. If you ever see
Brandon
the
Moore
if you ever
is
see
on
the
the
Soul Q food truck
Oh yeah, I've heard
with
Soul
Lee
Q is
Ratliff, and he
amazing.
parked anywhere,
And Cornelius Latham.
go try that
It's
pulled
really
pork.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, that's the best pulled
Oh,
pork
so-
I ever
yeah.
had.
You were telling
I'll
me
tell you
about
what though, man, in ribs, Brandon Moore at Bird Brazzi,
Yeah.
he can cook the hell out of some ribs.
Both of those guys will be at the 2026 Ooltewah Barbecue Brawl.
Okay.
Competing. Right,
Yeah, and I'm not
Lee and Bird.
I just, if you said, hey, go try this, they got great ribs, I'll go try it, but when I'm going out on a Friday or Saturday night or in a weeknight, it's just not on my radar. I like a good steak, man.
Oh, same now. Now I'll be honest with you. If you said, hey Cam, let's go get you a Delmonico or let's get some ribs, like we're going to get the steak.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. I'll take it over.
I'm on an Italian. I've been to Acropolis. I went to Portofino's the other night, and
Nice.
I like Portofino's.
I haven't been there yet.
Portofino's. Both Acropolis and Portofino's were just so good.
Acropolis, is that's the Greek place over on Gun Barrel?
Yeah,
Off of, right next to Hamilton.
No,
Park.
it's
Yeah,
it's in
freeway.
the mall, kind
Yeah,
of
by
close
the
to
Starbucks.
Alexander's, down the street. The mall. What road is that?
A friend of ours, I just found out a friend of ours, her parents own that place.
Oh,
So I'm
I
kind
think
of
Steve knows the owners too, don't you?
So what?
Don't you know the owners of that too? Didn't I hear you say that?
No. They somebody Pete said that they lived here in Ooltewah, but I don't know where.
See,
You got to
John
remember,
Harrison-
Ooltewah goes from the state line to Birchwood, so you can live
Okay.
in Ooltewah and be in Winston.
weird.
See,
Yeah.
John Harrison, he's the same way that I am. Look, he old comp barbecue cook. He don't go out and eat barbecue. and somebody right there,
Donnie
Donnie
said Sugars. I
Sugar-
haven't been to Sugars yet.
man,
I
that place
haven't been.
has
I've never
there
been to Sugar.
forever.
either.
And from what I understand now, Sugar's Ribs is good. I can't say that for myself. I haven't been, but I have been wanting to go to Sugar's just to try it. It's my understanding that the same people that own the Boathouse and the one up on top of the mountain, fancy restaurant on top of Lookout.
Riverdale.
No.
Lookout Winery.
I know what you're talking about.
Somebody will chime in here.
It's
It's
way
my
up there.
understanding it's the same people that own those restaurants now that own Sugar's, from what I've heard. So, but they
Billy
say-
Holland said Hickory Pit in East Ridge. Hickory Pit in East Ridge is probably the most under advertised best place to eat barbecue. It's been on several
Ooh.
top 10 national lists.
I guess I need to write that one
Hickory
down.
Pit.
Okay.
It has. I mean, they have. It
Canyon
has,
Grill.
yeah,
gotta
Canyon
be-
Grill.
yeah. There you go.
I have never tried a smoked steak, Shirley. As much steak and
You
stuff.
haven't?
I haven't.
That's how I make my tomahawks.
Okay.
And
That's reverse
Oh.
sear. You do reverse sear.
Oh yeah. now
yeah, but I
know.
smoke.
yeah.
But I smoke it. I smoke it and then do the reverse sear.
Then you
Ah.
put it's called a reverse sear.
Well, yeah, but
smoke it,
It's smoking.
Then you put it on the.
I mean, you don't have to smoke it to reverse sear.
No, you
So That's
don't.
kind of like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square.
Mhm. Mhm.
It can be smoked and reverse seared.
I would not. I think you'd have pot roast if you didn't. If you didn't
Oh,
put
you
the
mean
sear on.
if you just did it in the oven?
we need to have a steak cook off, don't we?
Oh, I'm
Just to stay
down.
up at the
I'm
gas
so down.
station.
I would want to do that really, really badly.
That'd be easy to put together.
Oh yeah, we should get,
We'd probably get
we just-
100.
we
We'd
just
probably
gotta
get
pick
100 people.
dude. We just got to pick a Saturday and go over at the gas station and just fire them up and get at it.
Yeah,
I
we
want
can
to
go.
volunteer to be a judge.
Oh no, you're cooking too.
What?
You're in this. Oh, you're in this whether you like it or not. You're in this.
I do it.
All right, we're rambling.
There it is.
We're rambling. We're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks to Nick Weary of Major League Eating. If you want to see these guys in action, and you've been waiting for them to come to a place near you, that is May the 9th in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee. Some sort of a field. It's on Sutherland Avenue. Just look up UT Rec Fields across from Dead End Barbecue. That's where it's going to be. They'll be eating at noon on Saturday, May the 9th. Joey Chestnut is going to be available to talk to on Friday at noon at Dead End Barbecue. So if you want to talk to Joey Chestnut, or if you want to talk to me, you can find us both at Dead End Barbecue at noon on Friday, because that's where I'll be too, because I'm going to head up that way. Anything else, Cameron? You got anything to add?
No, man, that's it.
You can catch Cameron on Facebook, on TikTok, Jason Baptized by Smoke on YouTube and on Facebook. Of course, Al's Nest Barbecue, at Al's Nest Barbecue on all of your traditional social media outlets. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
I got nothing.
As usual, you guys were stellar. We appreciate you very much. Pete will be back next Tuesday. And until then, come and see us.
See ya.
At the Al's Nest Barbecue Supply in Ooltewah. And until then, cook out loud.
That's it.